Good morning or good afternoon, friends. It's Lisa with Ink and Inspirations, and I'm just waiting to see a comment. Make sure that we're live on Facebook and YouTube. So I hope everybody's having a good day. So it says that I'm live, but if someone can comment, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, and let me know. Thank you. And thank you for being here if you're live or if you're watching the replay. Hi, Cindy. Thank you. I see you're on Facebook. Great. Okay, so hopefully you're on YouTube. Someone's on YouTube as well that will say hello. And if you're watching, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Pam. Okay, great. Okay, I am so excited to be with you this morning. And good morning to everyone. Hi, Karen. And if you're on my email list and you've got my email this week, I talked about some requests that I had been getting from many people, many crafters, many people who would love to craft. And sometimes those of us that, do this all the time, every day, or have collected quite a few supplies, we can make these elaborate cards. But I know when I started out, that was not the case for me. So I had a few supplies and I wanted to make cards to bless someone. And so I learned to make cards with what I had. And then I just added, as I could, I added to my supplies. So good morning, everyone. So this live is devoted to sharing a card idea that is super cute. It's really easy and it uses minimal supplies. And it's using some of your stash of designer paper. Now, can anyone relate? I have so much paper because I love it. And paper, our pattern paper is usually my starting point, okay, for a card. I might start with a stamp set or a bundle. It's usually the stamp set or the designer paper. I know I want to choose a certain set, make a certain type of card, and then I choose the paper to pick my colors. Okay. Everybody can agree that's pretty much how we can do that and easily decide on what colors we're going to use for our cardstock and our ink, right? Okay. So with the pattern paper, I can't ever have enough of it. And so I just love it. I think Stampin' Up! Pattern paper is absolutely beautiful, and there's so many different styles and types to appeal to all different kinds of crafters that I try some of all of it. So today I'm going to be showing you a card design using it. Just uses a little bit of paper, but you can mass produce these, okay, and make a stack with very minimal supplies. So uh, unless there are some questions, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm trying to think if there's anything I need to let you know. There have been some of you have been waiting on some of the bundles from the mini catalog to be restocked, and those are back in there. The punches are not, like the bunny, is not back yet, the bunny punch. But hey, I don't have the bunny punch, and I've been creating some really cute Easter projects without it. So, and that's what we did. Was it a couple of weeks ago? Yeah. So today I'm going to be using a variety. I have one particular stamp set that I'm demonstrating with, but I have quite a few samples to show you of the same design, to show you how the same design can be made in so many ways by using different paper and different stamps. So let's get started. Okay, let me see. I'm going to put you on here. And I mentioned a while ago about sending out an email. And if you're not on my email list, I want to encourage you to sign up. If you can see scrolling across the bottom of the screen there, You can take a screenshot of that or jot it down. You get a free online class with very simple, basic cards that you can recreate over and over again when you sign up for my list. Okay. And what that list is I share exclusive project ideas. You get information as soon as I get it. I try to pass it on to you, and I send generally one email a week unless there's something that I need to let you know or there's a deadline coming up. So be sure you sign up for that if you're not on that list, and you will immediately get that free online class. And we can keep connected that way as well. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave that up for just a few minutes, and then we will take it off of there and put it back up later. Okay. So the inspiration for this design today come from this card I made for a previous class. This was, the Valentine class I did, and it's using, see this gingham paper. All right, it's four 1-inch strips. Well, the card we're making today is this basic same design, but simpler. Okay, where there are not as many pieces, maybe, and not as many embellishments, but make still really cute cards. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, we need a card base. All right, and this is 5.5 by 8.5. And what this is 1/2 sheet of a full sheet of cardstock. So let me pull one out here just to show you, in case there's someone just wanting to get started in card making. Okay, so see, it's 1/2 sheet of one 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. Good morning, Vicki. All right, so it's 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to take this little Post-it off, and then we're going to take the cardstock, match the two corners there. Okay, and then use a bone folder. If you don't have a bone folder, you can use your finger, but this is something you can save for to invest in because it's a good tool, and give that a really good crease. Okay, so that is going to be our card base, and we're going to set that aside. Now I have a piece of our 6x6 Regency Park Designer Series paper, and really I just picked the paper. I hadn't used it much. I love the colors. I love the floral design for spring, and I need some Easter cards. So that's how I decided what kind of theme I wanted to show you today for this particular card. So I need, for this design, 4 strips cut at 3 by 1 inch. And this 6x6 piece, I'm going to cut it at 3, okay? And then I'll have another strip of 3 inches that I can use for another card. So let me get my paper trimmer in. And I am just going to cut this in half at 3 inches. So I'm lining that up on the 3. Going to put the guide down and give it a cut. All right, I'm going to save this for another card. Now we need 1-inch strips, right? So I'm going to cut all the way across, okay, at 1 inch, because I never know which ones I'd like to use. But in my experience with this, I like to use the strips in the order that I cut them in, okay? So I'm just going to stack them over here. The reason being for that is that the reason the order stays the same for me is that sometimes I will pick a designer paper that has a seam, okay? And I don't want the seam to be broken up. So I just share it by, putting everything in the same order. And you can see I'm stacking them up over here, okay? Hi, Diane. Sunny Florida. All right. So here are 4 pieces, and that's what I need. I'm going to go ahead and cut these, okay, just to have them in case I need them. But I'm going to set those aside over here, okay, out of the way. And then I have my 4 strips there. Now, to mount those strips, I have a piece of basic white cardstock, which this is our light neutral. This probably is, I buy more packs of this than any other piece. Hang in there with me. I see that I'm back. Okay. So this is cut at 3¼ by 4 5/8. Okay. Don't let the measurements scare you. The 5/8 mark, I know some people say, oh, Lisa, those eighths. Oh, I don't want to get out of order here. There we go. So 4 5/8. Okay. So this is the 1/2 mark after 4. Okay. And 4 5/8 is going to be the next little longest line there. Okay, right there, 4 5/8. So that's where I cut it. Now, these markings on our Stampin' Trimmer are in 16ths. I don't like to use 16ths. I'll use eighths. Okay, so it's the inch has a long mark, the 1/2 inch is next in length, then the 1/4 inch is the next in length, and then the 1/8 inch is the second to the smallest. Oh, Lisa, get it in the camera. Okay, so that's the 1/8 inch. Hey, Catherine, that's okay. Glad you're here. All right, so I have the 3¼ by 4 5/8. And now we're going to space these out on this card stock here, this white. So I try to put it in the center, top to bottom. And I don't get too anxious about my spacing on this. Okay. It doesn't have to be exact. I just want a little bit of white space in between each strip. Okay. So I'm going to start putting these down. Okay. So you see how it's a continuous scene. There's that part of that flower. There's that flower, but yet it gives it a unique look because we've cut them apart. Okay. And so it just kind of pops at you. Don't you like that? I mean, it's super simple too. So when I'm gluing these down, I always kind of space them and look at it and get it like I want. And then I start with the two ends first. Okay. So let me go ahead and get some of our liquid glue. I like this glue because it's a little forgiving. If you don't get it in the right place the first time, you can kind of slide it a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to come over here and do this end. And then I'll space those two center ones. And I know many of you probably who make cards and all the time, and I know several of my team members are on here, that you have done this design before. But I think it's important that we look at it and see how very different the same card design can be according to what paper and stamp set you use. Okay. And we'll talk about stamp sets in a minute. Um, I think there are some basics that you can rely on. I think that probably a good sentiment stamp set that has several sentiments for different occasions, maybe one or two of those, like to cover everything, is great. Okay, because you can always make a beautiful card with your paper, your inks, and your stamp, and your stamp set your stamped image can be your sentiment, right? And that's what I'm showing you today on this. Okay, so there we have that. And then we're going to bring our background back in and just place that like that. Now, let me talk a little bit about color. So I wanted to decide which color to use for my base. Okay, pick the designer paper first. And then I looked and I wanted that springy feel. So predominant background color is shaded spruce. Okay, that sprucey green. All right. That was going to be too dark for the feeling I wanted to convey. So I looked around at my other colors and I have a lot of petal pink cardstock. So I'm using that as my background. And you can see that by using that color cardstock, it makes this color pop even more. You see that? Okay. Now, if you want to be to step it up a little bit, you could always, if you have a floral stamp, stamp the background around it, but it's not necessary. It is not necessary. Like I did on this one. Do you see how I stamped the floral all the way around? It just gives it a different look. But this, the paper is the focal point there. Okay, so we're going to go with that. All right. Now I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to glue that on top. And of course, I'm doing a lot of talking and explaining while I'm doing this. This card would take maybe 10 minutes to do. Once you decide on your papers, cut your strips, doesn't take long to do this card at all. Okay, so I'm just talking you through it and hoping that it helps someone. Okay, all right, so there we go. Okay, just kind of centered it. I didn't measure anything. Okay, so now I'm going to put a sentiment on here. And so what I like to do is find a color that I want to use that is going to look okay. I have this Mango Melody already cut, which is the color in this flower. So I'm going to use it. Okay, I have this strip and I have already stamped it, but I want to show you. I use Happy Easter from the Easter Bunny set. Okay, so let's see. Where was I going to show you? We have another set in the annual catalog that's some great sentiments celebrating you. It has Happy Easter in it too. Okay, you see all these different sentiments, and I'll show you that in the catalog in a little bit. So the way I decide how long and how big to make this strip is I measure my stamp. Okay, so here is just a small grid sheet, and I'm going to put it over here at the edge. I usually come 1/4 inch in. See, this line is 1/4 inch. Let me come over here. I've already used this once, so 1/4 inch. I come down to almost that bottom line just to see how tall it needs to be. Okay, so it needs to be at least 3/4 of an inch or 5/8 of an inch tall. Okay, so I can decide how long to cut and how tall to cut by putting my stamp set and measuring it. Okay, so that's how I came up with just this strip of designer paper. Now, if you're limited on the colors of designer paper that you have, you can always use white, okay? Or whatever light neutral. Or if you have more of your background color, you can use that. I had this already cut. I want to make use of this sentiment I already have here that already says Happy Easter, and I could put it right there, just like that, and my card be finished. Okay. But let me show you how to just jazz it up a little bit with your scissors. All right. We're going to take our paper snips. And I usually try to leave about an inch to 3/4 of an inch on each side of the sentiment when I'm cutting it. Okay, I'm going to cut up the center here like that, almost to, not too close to the word, okay, about 1/4 of an inch away. And then I'm going to come from the side and cut at an angle up to that point. Bam. See? Instant banner piece. And then since I'm going to put that in the middle of the card, I'm going to do it on the other side too. I'm going to cut up to about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little less away from the stamped sentiment. And then I'm going to cut up at an angle here. Bam. And bam. Got it. Okay. So look at there. We have a card. You can finish the inside with a piece of basic white to write your message. You could stamp Happy Easter again or just write your message. And that can be finished. Okay. Now I'm going to show you if you have ribbon, what you can do. Okay. But it's not, you don't have to. That is a beautiful card that someone would love to get for Easter. Okay. Very simple in design, but would be very well received, right? Okay. Now, I have some ribbon that has this, I think that's balmy blue in it. Okay. And I'm going to see if what that looks like just to add a bow. Okay. So I'm going to tie a ribbon. You could use white ribbon, any color that's in the designer paper or that you've used as the card base or the base for your designer paper there. Okay. Which, you know, if we're designing going by the colors in the designer paper, it's going to be one of those colors, right? So this is a combination of white, it's variegated, kind of an ombre ribbon. And I'm trying to make the bow tiny. So see, I've left it on the spool and I'm tying it. And this is just extra. If you want to step it up, you do not have to do this. Okay. So let me cut off here. And oops. This is a very easy to tie ribbon. I think it's in the mini catalog. Balmy blue, white, variegated ribbon. Okay, good name. So I'm just going to put that just like that. And you see what the bow does? Simple, simple, but easy to do. If you don't have ribbon and you have some rhinestones or pearls, scatter those around the sentiment. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use this bow since I've tied it, and I do need Easter cards. So what I'm going to do next, since we finished this card, I'm not going to finish the inside right now, but I will go back and do that on all of my cards that I show you after the video. Okay, now isn't that a sweet card? Yes, thank you, Pam. I love the DSP too. I haven't used much of it, but I love it. It's great for spring, and it's a little bit warmer here today. Okay, all right, so there is one example. Now, are you ready to see some more? And if you hang with me, I'm going to make a couple of more cards out of a beautiful piece of paper that I have not cut into yet. So just hang there with me. Okay, you see, I'm fixing to take off the scrolling ticker at the bottom. If you've just joined, that is the link that you can snapshot and use it to, let me see if I can get the link, the ticker off of here. Okay, give me a minute, y'all, technology. There we go. Okay, so if you're not on my mailing list, okay, please copy that link and go to that mailing list. You get a free online class with simple, easy to reproduce cards that you can do over and over again. Just change the paper up, and it's to help you to be able to create if you have just a little bit of time, if you have just a few supplies. Okay, just take a snapshot of that, go sign up, you'll get the free class, and then we'll keep in touch that way via email, and I'll send you more ideas, tips, and let you know about everything that's going on. All right. Okay, I'm going to take the banner off. All right, let me show you some more samples. I had so much fun playing with this design, and I put them in the catalog so I would get the names of the products right. Okay, so the first one uses this Charming Sentiment stamp set, and I'll show you that in the big catalog after a while. But this is a great set. It does have a set of dies, but you don't have to have it to use it. Okay, so Charming Sentiments. All right, and let's look at what I did with that. Okay, look at this. Okay, so I'm going to ask y'all, does this remind anybody of anything? it reminded me of something right off. Yes, Susan, the DSP is still available, I believe, in the mini catalog. Okay, a very popular Christian series. Does that remind anybody of anything? Has anybody watched The Chosen? If you have, that's what that paper, that those fish in that circle remind me of. Okay, and it's in the By the Bay 6x6 stack. It's on page 23 of the mini catalog, and you can see I don't have this stamp set, but I have this faith over fear sentiment that I used. I did the same technique, but I used a white base with a mint macaron background, okay, because that's the color here, all right? And then the gold, the Fisher gold. And so I wanted to be sure and get most of that in my scene. So I cut the designer paper accordingly where I could get the 3x1 inch strips and get most of these fish, okay? And then I thought, I measured the faith over fear sentiment, cut my basic white accordingly, and then cut my gold foil accordingly, a 1/4 inch bigger. Okay. So, and I have made this in mind for someone special that's going to get this card. And I have to make some more because I love it. Okay. All right. Okay, that's one that's using the By the Bay Designer Series paper in the mini catalog on page 23. Okay, I'm going to leave that. I think I have another one in here. Oh, yeah. Here we go, this Happy Rabbit. Okay, this is the Playing in the Rain suite. Y'all have seen me use this, but I had to use this little floral scene. You know how this has the scenes in there? I just cut it apart. I stacked them as I cut them. I used the same ribbon. This is Mango Melody, and I used the same little strip that I used on the card we made today for this one. And this bunny is just cut from the designer paper. Okay, that's it. I love that we have these beautiful and precious images that we can use from our designer paper as a main image. And to make him stand out, I just popped him up on dimensional adhesive. Okay. So there's another example, same design. Okay. And that is the Rain or Shine Designer Series paper. Okay. And the Happy Easter is from the bunny, Easter bunny stamp set that I used earlier. All right. Okay, let's see. I think I have another one here. Okay, look at this one. Okay, so this one uses what is this called? Ready to Ride Designer Series paper on what page is this? 69 of the mini catalog. Okay. And this map is one of the scenes on the paper. Like there's these different rectangles on the paper on one of the sheets, and I cut it out. Hey, Connie, I cut it out and used that to back this sentiment to separate this gray from the tire tracks, the gray in the tire tracks. Now this stamp set is from, that image is from Enjoy the Greatest Journey. Okay, wishing you joy in this next adventure. I thought that would be great. Measured it to cut my strip. I decided not to banner the ends and just keep it straight for the look of the card. Okay, no embellishments. Okay, you see? Look, same design, totally different looks. Okay, all right, so let me put this back in here. It was on page 69, and I have some others to show you. Okay, let me get my big catalog here. All right, here we go. Here's a birthday card. Wishing you the happiest of birthdays. I used that same Regency Park paper that I used on the card I made today. but you know, this one has a Night of Navy background. Okay. So totally different look, same ribbon. I cut my strip. Let's see, where's this stamp set? Charming Sentiments. Here it is on page 38 of the annual catalog. It does have dies that cut all these sentiments out. Okay. But you don't have to have it to make a beautiful card. Okay. Look at that. Wishing you the happiest of birthdays. Same design, ladies, same, and gentlemen, same design. Okay. All right. So that's that one. Again, that's the Regency Park paper in the mini catalog. Okay, this one, y'all. Happy Forest Friends. This one was definitely a scene from this Happy Forest Friends Designer Series paper. Okay. And I used the Hello Baby sentiment here, and I just cut out around it. There's a die for it. You can see there's a label die, but you know, I was trying to make cards without using any dies, just paper and scissors. And then I got the piece of paper and I cut another bear out and just popped him up on dimensionals on top of the bear that was already there, just to make him stand out a little more. It says, hello, baby. This ribbon is in the catalog. I just looked for some brown or green ribbon that I had, and I made a bow and stuck it there. So it's a cute baby card, don't you think? Okay. Yeah, I love it. I love it, Connie. So cute. And look, white background here, Calypso coral for the base of the strips, because that's a color in the paper. And then I just cut it, stacked it in the order that I cut it, and then arranged it on that piece. Okay. That's on page 47, this paper of the annual catalog. So I will say, if there's something you're seeing that you're wanting, don't wait. I mean, we're going to hear about the retiring list soon. Okay. And we're going to have probably a color refresh. Not probably, we are, where we're going to get some new colors in addition to the new in colors. And some of our colors that we have now, the core colors, they're going to be going away and being replaced with a refresh color. Okay. Something more on trend. I am so excited to see that, y'all. So anyway, just if you need ink refills, if you need cardstock of your favorite colors, do not wait, or designer paper. Okay. Some of it is already on low inventory. That means just a few packs left. All right. Okay. So there is Hello Baby card. Next, I have He's the Man Suite on page 79 in the annual catalog. And everything here is from the designer paper. If you have not seen this paper, do you see this piece right here? All of these little elements punch out so that you can use them on a card. Okay. My guess is that's going to be retiring, and it makes great, are you hearing me? Great masculine cards. Even if you don't have the stamp set, get the paper. Get the paper. It's great. So I chose this diamond in espresso behind there, and then put the strips there. This did not make a scene. It was all the same design going across, which I think is very classic looking. These stars were punched from this sheet of all these elements. So was the sentiment. So was this strip that looks like it's been torn. All of that was from this piece, from the designer paper. And I have a thick, very vanilla base with a very vanilla background for the main image. And there you go. Okay. All right. I need to be putting all these cards out. I think that's all of my samples. So let me get them all out so we can look at them. And then I'm going to make a couple more cards. Quick. Okay. Thank you, Cindy. I love it. I love it because it uses designer paper. Okay. Where's all my cards here? Where's the one I just made? Okay. So here's this. And I'm going to make a couple of more real quick if you want to hang in here with me. If you have to go, I understand. Okay, I guess that's it, huh? Thought I had more than that. And I can't even find the one I made today. Oh, this is it. This is it. Oh, here they are in the mini catalog. This one. Okay. And one more. Okay, so all the same card design. Everyone the same, but look, they're all just different, right? Okay, so try it. Okay, and if you try this recipe, be sure if you're on, go and join my Ink and Inspiration Stampers group. Okay, I'll put the link below here below the video on Facebook and YouTube after I get off. You have to request membership. I do that to keep out the trolls. Okay, people that don't need to be in there, and submit your card. Okay, you can submit your card. Sometimes I have to okay it, and then, or if you put it as a comment below the video, we'll get to see the different kinds of designs that we have using this same pattern. Okay, all the same but so different. Yes, absolutely. Okay, all right. Now, I will say before I forget, you'll be seeing each of these cards on my blog, and then I'll post them on Facebook too. And I'll make a note on YouTube that you can go to my blog to see these cards with the recipe. I'm going to be doing that over the next couple of weeks. Okay. Sharing all of these cards by themselves so you'll know that the pattern. Okay. And what you need to make them. All right. Thank you, Vicki. Okay. So let me make one or two cards really quick because I need some more Easter cards. I need some more Easter cards. Okay. So I'll be quick. I don't have to talk my way through this one, right? Okay. So this is from Hues of Happiness, right? Hues of Happiness. Right, Connie? I was going to write that down, and hello. It probably is written down somewhere. Hues of Happiness, I believe, is this one. Okay. So I wanted to use these flowers and maybe fussy cut some of these to make an Easter card. So here we go. I need some 3x1 strips to start with. So I'm going to start with this, with this color here, whatever color that is. I think it's mango. I've got this to go as my base. So we're going to go with it here. 3 inches. So see, I already had that pink base cut, whatever. I think it's a not mango, melon mambo. Okay, 1 inch. Okay, so I'm gonna do it like this. 1. On this one, I'm just going to cut 4 so that I don't have 100 little pieces on my desk by the time I get through, because I know I'm just making one of these right now, but I'll have this strip to go back to later. Okay, so that, and then I'm going to stack them. Okay, I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to go ahead and cut 3 inches off this other side, which is a different colorway altogether, but I'm going to try it here because I have another card base I want to use. So here's 3 inches. Put that aside and cut 1 inch. I'm going to cut 4 1-inch strips. 1. So you see you could mass produce these very easily. 2. I'm going to stack them. 3. And 4. So I have these 2 stacks for 2 cards. I'm going to save that strip. Now, this particular piece is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. It's still going to make a standard size card, but when you cut like this to fold it in half, this is going against the grain. If you are a seamstress or have sewn, you know what I'm talking about, but it goes against the grain of the fibers running in the card. So if you fold it like this, it's going to do this crackle wrinkly thing. That's why we have to score it at 5.5 when we cut our cards at 4.25 by 11. So that score mark makes it easy and a nice neat fold. Okay, so we can still have a landscape card. Okay, let me get my, okay, so now I already have my basic white cut at 3.25 by 4 5/8. That's going to go there. Okay, and let's go ahead and put our strips on. That doesn't look right. Oh, I've got it. I think I put them upside down. Let me go this way. Not that it matters, but I remember I turned it and I want it this way. This way. Now, you see, it's like a puzzle. Speaking of puzzles, Jackie did 5 small Disney puzzles the other day. Well, within 2 days. Connie, I thought you'd appreciate that. My daughter found a box of Disney puzzles that had never been opened at a flea market. We went flea marketing this past week. And they were like, 2 of them were like 350 and 2 of them were 500 and one was 750. He did them all. They were precious. They were that vintagey looking Mickey. Cute, cute. He took them apart and he said, I'm going to save the border pieces in a different baggie for them so they won't have such a hard time separating. I said, you're so good. So he loves puzzles, Connie, I know you do too. I'm okay with them, but I'd rather be making a card. So, okay, I'm putting the 2 ends on first. And the 2 center. There we go. Okay. All right, there we go with that. Now, okay, this is going to go here. Keeping it super simple. But isn't that pretty? Oh, I love that paper. Okay, then I cut a strip of this pink. I think it's Melon Mambo to say Happy Easter. So I'm going to use, what color am I going to use? I think I'm going to use a darker pink. Let me try Melon Mambo and see how that works. And if it doesn't, I'll flip it because this is espresso and I could use that. But let me try this. Okay, someone messaged me the other day saying I always get ink where I don't need it. Well, me too. But you can wipe it off with a wipey. Okay, and try not to press too hard. This is one of the really old stamp pads, the felt ones. Y'all remember those? Because I have ink pads here and ink pads in Texas, so I just kind of use my old ones. What do y'all think? Do I need to do it in a espresso? Huh? Yes, Linda, I love it. Y'all think that's good, or should I try? Let me try it in early espresso. Where's this? Because see, that's what the center of that flower is. And we can just decide. Okay. Let's try this. Center it. Oh, I messed up. Oh my goodness. I like the um, early espresso better because it shows up. So I'm gonna fix that. I got ink on there, so we can always fix it. I could stamp it again, but let me see what I can do. Huh. Let me see what I can do. Nope. Mm, I don't have any yellow ribbon, but I have white. I do have white. Okay. See, I was too enthusiastic when I stamped. I need to clean my hands. I like the early espresso too. White embossing, yes, but Linda, for these particular cards, I'm trying to keep it easy for in case you need to make a quick card. Not that embossing is not easy, but if you have limited supplies, you may not have a heat tool or embossing folder, or embossing powder. And I wanted to design these and create these where you could, these basically, it's stamps, ink, and paper. But then white embossing would be gorgeous. You're right. Okay. Yeah, that's going to cover it up. I'm going to, I think I'm going to banner cut these ends. Cutting up the center and then in from the side. And we have punches that do that, but if you don't have the punch, you can do it with your scissors, your snips. Okay, cover up this part. Put that right there in the center. And bam, cover up the mistake. Okay, glue dot. You could use liquid glue as well. It just takes a little bit longer to dry. And there we have that Easter card. Okay. All right. I'm going to super quick make one more. Here's another 4¼ by 11. I'm going to score it at 5½. I'm going to use those other strips that I just did. Bam. Fold it in half. Give it a good crease. I already have my basic white cut. And let me get these laid out. That's not right, is it? Doesn't look right. Somehow these got all mixed up. Those go like that. What the heck did I do? Okay, now there we go. Okay, here we go. Yes, Diane, it's so simple. I mean, and there are easier ways even than this. It's just that this design is so simple, but yet it has packs such a punch. You know, it's a wow because of your strips and the background of the strips make that the colors just pop out. And it's, it's artsy and simple and quick. So you see this one's it's going together quickly. Okay, let me see. This is going to go here. Like that. Bam, 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 bam. Let's put this on. I already have the sentiment stamped here. It's stamped in, that's probably Blackberry Bliss, but I think it looks fine, don't y'all? Hey, Carol, thank you for tuning in. I think it looks fine. I'm going to use it. Okay, and then I'm going to show you another way you can use this paper. So here's another sheet of that designer paper, but the florals are much bigger. So I think I'm going to, I'm going to cut out one of these flowers really quick. So again, I'm just using the designer paper for the image. All I needed was the sentiment, stamps, ink, and paper. And if you have ribbon, you can use ribbon. If you have gemstones, you can use those, but it's not necessary. Okay. I'm cutting some leaves out of the designer paper. This is a much bigger image and would look okay for this design, but I like the smaller flowers. Okay, I'm gonna put that like that, and I'm gonna cut around this. And I'm not being exact, but I am getting pretty close to the flower. Okay. A lot of times I like to leave that border around the edge, but on this, for this technique, I get pretty close without trying to cut into it. I don't mind if there is a little bit of white showing. Don't hoard it, Connie. Use your paper. Yeah, but if you love it, it's beautiful. And Connie, you make a lot of cards, so it's worth it because I think it's on low. Is it on low inventory? I think it is. And they won't replace it because I'm sure it's retiring. Okay. I don't know if I like that, y'all. It's too big. I don't like it. What do y'all think? Don't y'all think that's too big? It just kind of takes away from that background. So you know what? You see how you can play around and design, and all I used there was just a piece of paper. So I am going to see what I have in ribbon that I can use. I've used so much of my ribbon. Oh, maybe this. I think this is Pool Party. Let's try it. Oh, good, Diane. Yes. Perfect for birthday cards. Perfect, perfect. 17. That's a lot of April birthdays, girl. Okay. I'm doing this. You see, I just went to my drawer with my ribbons and okay, I like that better than the flower. Much better. That flower, this was just too much. Too much for me. Okay, what did I do with my glue dots? Here they are. Okay. Here we go. Bam. Happy Easter. Got 2 Easter cards. I just need to do the middle. Okay, let me put these cards out here. Close up this espresso before I get it on one of my cards. So what you think? Who's going to try this? Who's going to try it? Or make some? I know some of you have probably already done this design before. But wow. And keeping it simple, because sometimes simple is really beautiful. Okay. Right. Okay. Here's 3 Easter cards I have. I'm going to use this design for the rest of my Easter cards I need. Here's the chosen card is what I call it. Okay. There's a birthday. Easter for a little, maybe. I am using for this is Hues of Happiness. Hues of Happiness. So let me get it. I think it's still available. It was on low inventory. I haven't checked it this morning. Connie or Cindy, can y'all check that? Go into the demonstrator site and check the inventory status for me, please? And just comment. Okay, I'm using Hues of Happiness. It's on page 132. The item number is 158822. It's beautiful. And the reverse side are like these washes, a lot of them. Let me show you. If I can find my paper. I mean, here's another print. And look at the back. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and this was the back of something I used earlier. You'll see a video using this next week. Here's the other. I use this one. And there's the back with little X's. Thank you, Pam. You too. Have a great weekend. Okay, and then this with the navy background. And then that's the back. Here's the larger flowers. And there's the back of that. And here in a different colorway with the pinks and yellows. And the back of that. So they coordinate together. You could use, this and then the front. Love it. Okay. Hues of Happiness. That's that one. Okay, so I'm going to kind of stack these. This is Regency Park Designer Series paper that's in the mini catalog. Rain or Shine Designer Series paper. By the Bay Designer Series paper. Ready to Ride, I think, is this designer from the mini catalog. He's the man. And Happier Friends. Happier Than Happy. Wherever that is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh, Happy Forest Friends. That's that one. Page 47. Okay. Let me get back up here in low inventory. Thank you, Cindy. So this paper here with these florals is on low inventory. That means it's going to sell out soon. And when it sells out, I doubt that they get any more because the end of this catalog is the end of April. I'm not sure, but I'm just telling you. Let me see. Remove from. Okay, I kept you long today. Sorry about that, but I hope that you see that you can create with stamps, ink, and paper and make beautiful cards. Even if you don't have designer paper, if you have a floral stamp, you could stamp your background and make the same kind of pattern, okay? So give it a try. Be sure you go and request permission for my Ink and Inspiration Stampers group on Facebook so you can share your work. Oh, you're welcome. Thank y'all. And if you're not on my mailing list, be sure you sign up at that link below. You'll get a free online card class almost immediately. And it has designs that are not like this, but different, using mainly stamps, ink, and paper that you can recreate over and over again. Okay. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Y'all have a great day, great weekend. Happy crafting. And I can't wait to see your designs. Take care. Bye-bye.